Hello and welcome to part two of my three-part mini-series, Selling Your Way. If you're watching live, say hi in the comments. And if you're on the replay, say hi. And I'd like to know what your takeaways are from today's part two. So thank you so much for being here, those of you that are here. And I will share my screen with you. So, as I said, welcome to Selling Your Way, three-part mini-series. So, part two today, we are going to dive into self-mastery, diving into fear. And time to let go, time to choose love and compassion. So, my three-part mini series, yesterday we talked about believing in yourself, your power code, and believing in your products and services. Now, believing in yourself is so important. It's not just believing in yourself, it's all about loving yourself. It's about self love. It really, truly is. So, today we are going to talk about that a little bit more. And as we dive into fear, and then tomorrow's episode, I will be talking about my sexy sales goddess transformation. And like I said, my secret to my success is I did it my way, and I want to help you to do it your way. My story, I'm a mindset and success coach, founder of Sexy Sales Goddess. So I help heart centered women sell with a way that makes it feel easy for you, as easy as having a conversation and having confidence and having those conversations. And I have 25 years of sales and marketing experience where I've won countless awards and I've been the top saleswoman year after year in a male dominated industry. And then I left the industry shortly after I fell in love with the coaching business through my own personal transformation, where I became certified in the universal laws and certified in numerology, my Reiki level 2 practitioner. I became a trainer and facilitator for mastering the brain game. I did all these things at the time, not because I thought I would teach them. I actually did them because I was on my own journey. I wanted to have the experience. I wanted to know about the universal laws. I wanted to know about numerology. I was open and curious to find out what's all out there. So that's part of my story, just a little bit of my story. I love helping women and working with women, having those light bulb moments and showing them how powerful they are. I love to help them embody their sexy sales goddess archetype. That's what lights up my soul. I'm on a mission to help everyone, as many women as I can, feel confident about selling. So I see you, goddess, struggling to do all the things, losing your confidence in making money doing what you love, struggling with sales, taking all the courses and programs, maybe not getting the desired results you want, struggling because selling to you feels icky, slimy, gross. You're out of alignment. It's not, it's, you're not feeling it. So, but yet you know that sales equals revenue, and that sales is freedom. It's freedom of money, it's freedom of time with your family. There's so much, like, sales is part of life, but what also we don't realize is you sell every day quite naturally, actually, and you don't even realize you're doing it. An example is when you're talking to your kids and you're trying to get them off to bed at night and you're telling them, you need a good night's sleep because you'll feel better in the morning. That's selling. Or trying to get them to eat their vegetables and saying, but they're good for you, they have nutrients, they have this. That's selling. Having a conversation with your husband and say, I think we should go to this restaurant Friday because you know what, I really love their calamari. I love the way they do their chicken cordon bleu, whatever it may be. That's selling. It's even as easy as having putting a post on Facebook where you're like, oh my God, I just went to this coffee shop, this new little coffee shop. They had the most amazing lavender latte that it was just, it literally made me smile and made me dance. It made my tummy dance. That's selling. We are selling every single day in all different ways. We just don't realize it. And that's what I want to help you. I want you to feel how natural it can be to you or for you. So let's start with fear. Let's dive into fear, because one of the things where I want to go with here is so you understand. Do you understand your body's operation system? Do you realize do you know what happens to your body when you go into fight or flight, when you're living in fear? And I lived in fear. Fight or flight for a few years with a former job, just because I had so much anger in me, and so I know firsthand what was happening within my body. And so I just wanted to share this with you, because as you become more aware when you are in fight or flight, and that you can interrupt those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and you can choose something else. You don't have to stay in that fear. And that when we're in that fear and we're in fight or flight, our sympathetic response system for our bodies, it triggers lack, fear, insecurity, judgment, blame, shame, guilt, comparison, anxiety. all of these things are triggered within our body. And so we feel less than, and our body starts to shut down, and it shuts down a huge part of our brain. And from there, the symptoms are disease, discomfort. We open up our bodies for disease to come in, and illness happens. And during those moments of fight or flight, cortisol is pumping through our body at like 286 miles per hour, and we become inefficient. We can't even think clearly. I remember times where I was just so angry at someone or a situation that I remember that feeling. I remember my body being in those moments where it's like I couldn't think clearly, and it felt awful at the time. It felt totally out of control. And that's what happens with fear. And the thing is, there's fear everywhere around us. And we are so programmed to believe, because society has taught us that everything worth having requires struggle and it requires hard work. We're programmed to believe that if it's really good, then it must be too good to be true. How many times have you heard that? Oh, well, that's good, so that must be too good to be true. Or we start to think that, our good, oh, she just has good luck, but her good luck's going to run out. And with that, that's what we are programmed. We are programmed that good is limited, and therefore we live in fear. Our whole lives, we are held in a fear-based belief system just to feel safe. And we start to think things like, I'm terrible at selling, my stuff never sells. I wasn't born to sell like people. The thought of selling my services makes me feel sick to my stomach. And we even think things like, like with relationships, oh, I'm terrible at relationships. I'm this, I'm that. And we start to put all this fear and doubt on top of ourselves. And what happens with this is it's all backed by an energy of resistance. So we're resisting. And it's also it's resistance to feeling good. It's resistance to actually loving ourselves as well. And it blocks out the good that we want to attract in. And so with our body, the moment we can release any of that, release the resistance and let ourselves feel good, that's when everything starts to flow naturally. The desires start to flow naturally. And when we feel good, we attract solutions rather than problems. And when we feel good, our body goes into rest and repose, which is our parasympathetic response system. Then it triggers trust, safety, openness, where we want to experience new things. We are open to receiving new things. We are open to receiving money. We are open to receiving love. We are open to receiving new friendships. We're curious. Like, what if I launch this program? What if I put myself put myself out there? Oh my God, what if I had, all these new friends in Facebook to help me with my business? Like all the positive things start to happen. We start to then trigger love and compassion, where all of a sudden we can look at a situation that triggered us and we had negative thoughts, where all of a sudden we can have loving thoughts and we can send love and compassion. Because here's where our body then welcomes in ease. It welcomes in comfort. The healing, endorphins happen. And I know this firsthand, like I was saying, where I worked 9 to 5 and I was in fight or flight for like 5 days of the week. Then come the weekend, I was exhausted. I had to sleep almost all weekend just so my body could rest, restore, and catch up. But yet those times where I was working, in one, especially like one company comes to mind where it was so much fun. We had so much fun, and it was a great time. That come the weekend, I was like more vibrant and hosting barbecues and doing all this fun stuff because I had all this energy on the weekend. I wasn't so exhausted because my body wasn't in fight or flight for so many hours, so many days. And then, like I said, with the rest and repose, I just needed to sleep, to rest. And it's good to take those times to rest, even as self-love, taking time every day and just resting and letting your body feel calm. And so let's talk about selling and how fear holds us back from success. There's so much noise out there, like so much noise. And we let the outside world control how we think, how we feel. And I had a conversation with a client, and some stuff was going on in the background. And I was just, as I was listening, I was like, wow, the outside world is controlling your feelings and your emotions. And all this stuff is going through my head. And I thought, oh, it's we let it come in, we let it control us. Facebook, that's a big thing. We're trying out there to to do our best, you know, with our programs, our products, our services. We put something out there and maybe we get 2 likes or 2 thumbs up. And it's interesting, for I did social media strategies for a while too. And one of the things with the whole thumbs up is, I know Facebook's algorithm now, it's like, don't do thumbs up, people, give hearts, always give hearts. Hearts, or the care. That's why they added the care. The more you use the other emojis, the more it gets the algorithm going versus just a like. So that's just a little side note. But we get that in our head that, oh my God, I got 1 like, or I didn't get anything on my post. And we let that outside world control how we feel. But we don't realize we're the ones who control it, our inner world. We control this. We get to choose how we feel, but there's just so much going on. Like, we have fear of missing out, and then we have shiny object syndrome, where it's like we're looking to the outside world for validation. I need to do this, I need to take that, I need to do that, because we don't take the time to get quiet and go inner and know that in those quiet inner moments, that's where our inspiration comes. That's where we can move forward. But we look at past experiences with salespeople. And it's not just us, it's our parents. This is generational stuff. This is stuff that's been passed down from generation to generation. How our parents viewed salespeople, how their parents viewed salespeople. It goes on and on and on. Like, years ago, the door-to-door salespeople, the vacuum salespeople, the encyclopedia salespeople, and so on. I remember having a family dinner, and salesman came to the door. My dad got so mad and angry because we were in the middle of dinner. The salesperson came to the door, and it was just, he went into fight or flight right away, and he was like yelling at the sales guy. And so it was kind of like, and as a kid, you're watching this and you're like, oh, salespeople are bad. Like, right away, you just think that, right? So we become so programmed, like I said. And then we start to wonder, oh, okay, well, all these experiences, is that real? Is that not real? And they're stories. And I had to laugh, because as I was doing the slides, I was thinking of, the used car salesman. So I'm sitting here, we say that all the time, like, used car salesman, used car salesman. But I'm sitting here going, so I'm thinking in my head going, okay, so what is the difference? What's the difference between a used car salesman and a new car salesman? They both sell cars. They both get paid commissions. They're both providing for their families at the end of the day, but yet the used car salesman is the one that's perceived to be icky, slimy, gross. You get what I'm saying here? So I just want you to think about that for a minute, because that's, again, those are stories, those are perceptions, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to the stories we've heard, the stories we tell ourselves. It's all about that, the stories and the perception. So how are these stories holding us back? Well, they become part of who we are, and we become fearful to put ourselves out there, because now all of a sudden we know all the stories that we've been told, and then the stories that we believe. So we get scared to put ourselves out there, because we're like, what are other people's stories? What are other people's perception of sales? What if they think I'm pushy because I believe salespeople are pushy, And so it's like, I don't like the way, so and so launched their products. It felt gross to me as an affiliate. It's like, I'm now scared to do my own launch. So having that experience has now put a negative spin for you, and now it's holding you back. But those are just stories you told yourself. And so it's time to shut down all the noise. It's time to go inward and feel what feels right for you. It's time to let go of all those stories that you've been holding on to, and that have been held. Yeah, can't even talk here. Have a glass of water. And all those stories that have been holding you back from being successful in your business, from putting yourself out there. And so let's create a new story. Let's call in new experiences. Imagine what it would feel like to sell your way. I can help you with that. It's all about selling your way. It's all about what feels right for you. So when you're stuck in fear and negativity consciously, like, this is like, what do you do? What do you do when you're in fight or flight and you're having those negative thoughts are coming in, those negative feelings are rising up? It's like, what do you do? So here's what I get to. This is what I love to teach about fight or flight. And this has really helped me. Oh my goodness. It helps me all the time, remain calm. So what I do is you let the fear, you have the thoughts consciously, you've had the thoughts, the feelings are coming up, you take a step back, you notice the thoughts, you let the feelings rise, and you ask yourself, how do I feel right now? And if you're angry about something, just let it come up. Let the anger come up. Don't try to push it down. Just let it come up. Just sit with it. And as you sit with it, it will start to subside. And then when you notice subsiding a bit, just pause and say to yourself, I would like to feel a different emotion. And just think about that. I want to feel a different emotion. And then imagine yourself feeling the different emotion. So say for instance, you're putting together your first product, your first offering, and you're going to put it out there. But all of a sudden you're scared and all that scared feeling comes up. You've done the work, you love what you've put together, but yet you're scared to put it out there. So you just let it pop up, just let the feelings rise, and then think, okay, I'm scared. That's what I'm feeling in this moment. I don't want to feel scared. I want to choose to feel calm right now. I want to feel calm. And then bring it down into your heart. And then what would calm feel like? How does calm feel? And just think about feeling calm and just really feel into it, and then feel that calmness. And as you do that, and as you sink into that feeling of calmness, you'll feel your body. It'll start to just calm right down, and you'll feel the calm. And then when you're sitting there and you're in that calm, or whatever it is you've chosen to feel, if you want to choose happy because you were sad, whatever it is you may choose, then just sit there and say to yourself, what's the next step I can take to feel better? Because sometimes if you're, say you're high in fight or flight, like you're angry, but you're like, okay, I want to go to, I want to be happy. That can be a huge leap to go from there to there. So you can just sit there and say, okay, how do I want to feel now? And then just go a little bit at a time. Okay, well, I just want to feel calm. Now I want to feel the next motion. I want to feel, I want to feel, compassion. I want to feel, and just kind of work with the different feelings and let those feelings come up and take you to wherever you want to go. And then when you get there, just say, okay, now that I'm here, what can I do in this moment to move myself one step further to wherever I want to go? And as you're working through all of this, then take a moment and forgive yourself. Forgiveness is huge. Give yourself permission to just forgive yourself for those negative thoughts, for those feelings, and just say, I choose love. I forgive myself. I love you. I see you. And just let it all go. And it takes practice. It's definitely a daily practice to love ourselves, because we're not taught to love ourselves. We're taught to be on the assembly line. We're taught as young kids, it's like, you do this, you go to school, you get married, you have a family or a career, family, da 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 da. We're not taught self-love. And then we start to learn it. Like now, self-love, everybody, some people even like, oh, self-love, I get my nails done. It's like, yeah, no, that's not self-love. Self-love is really spending time with yourself, loving who you are, having the gratitude for who you are, what you've accomplished, and being proud, and celebrate yourself. We don't celebrate ourselves enough. And a lot of times it's like, you think, well, oh, if I celebrate or I'm excited about something, then I'll be like, people think I'm bragging or whatever. And I had that for years, where I was so proud of my accomplishments, so proud. And then I would talk to go in my boss's office. I'm like, oh my God, I just sold this big job. And I would be so proud of what I had. And he'd be like, Shauna, quit bragging. Like, you're not all that, kind of thing. And I would get slammed down. And I don't know how many times over the years I got slammed down for something I was proud of. So I stopped being proud of what I was doing. I became so programmed that I just did it, made the sales, made millions of dollars for the company, moved on to the next. And then I would go back. Well, I would move on to the next sale, but I was always there serving and helping my customers. But I didn't take the time to celebrate in between my accomplishments, because I was just like, okay, it was just, it just was whatever, because that's the way we were programmed. Whereas now, I take the time to celebrate, like every little thing. Take the time to celebrate, and always come back to love. Love yourself a little bit more every day, just a little bit more every single day. And now, affirmations. As people who do know me, I love affirmations. So I give myself permission to let go of any thoughts, attitudes, or beliefs based in fear. I give myself permission to feel positive about my future, knowing that everything is going to be okay. I give myself permission to express love. That's a big one. Sometimes we don't know how to express love. And then it's all about receiving love and expressing love and giving love. It's like receiving and giving. It's a nice, beautiful flow. I give myself permission to move forward without having to be certain of how it's going to turn out. We don't need to know how it's going to turn out. Just be okay with the experience. Here's some selling ones for you. I love selling my way. Selling feels so natural to me when I follow my heart. I lead with love and love leads the way. That is one I've been saying now. I think it's probably, I'm going to say it, is it 2 years coming up? I was at one of my coach's live events, Transform Live, and that was the affirmation of the whole, I think it was a 3 day event. I'm trying to think now. It was a live event. I think it was 3 days, but that was the affirmation for the whole event. It was like, I lead with love and love leads the way. And that one has always stayed with me. So I wanted to share that one with you. So, points to remember: notice when you're in fear, identify the emotion, feel it until it subsides, pick the new emotion you want to feel, imagine feeling it, and then what's the next step to feel better? Forgive yourself, choose love, release the fear, anger, shame, guilt, judgment, comparison, and be open to receive love, compassion, ease, and always come back to love. I hope you enjoyed this part two. It's just a taste of what we dive into my 12-week Sexy Sales Goddess transformation. But self mastery, it really, really is the key to true, lasting transformation and to success. And see, I'm here some kind words. So Michelle's known me for 8 years, and she's like, I can attest to Shauna's hard work and dedication to everything she invests in her time in. She is someone who is honest and kind with a caring nature and natural leadership skills. Shauna is such a bright and energetic person whose perky personality shines through. Her confidence is and positivity is contagious. Spend a few minutes talking with Shauna, and you will walk away feeling self assured that you can accomplish anything. I love that I inspire women and I can have that impact on the world, because that's what it truly is for me. It's all about impacting and helping others. I want every woman to succeed in their business. So I invite you, thank you so much for being here. I invite you tomorrow to join me for part 3 of my 3-part mini series, Selling Your Way, where we are going to dive into the Sexy Sales Goddess transformation. What is it? And what's it all about? And is it for you? So please feel free to share this. I would love to know, like I said in the comments, one of your takeaways from this. And just remember, I believe in you and I believe in your success. Mwah. Much love. And I invite you to book a Goddess to Goddess chat with me if you just want to have a one-on-one and talk about what the Sexy Sales Goddess is. So thank you. Oh, I guess I can stop sharing. There, I can stop sharing. Thank you so much for being here. Much love. Have a wonderful day.